Stop everything you are doing right now. Do not keep scrolling. Do not ignore this moment, because what I am about to tell you is not something you will find just anywhere or at any time. This message did not reach you by coincidence, and the urgency you feel in your chest, that restlessness that steals your peace, is the clear sign that a cycle in your life is being closed right now. I was sent to speak to you because you have been carrying a weight that does not belong to you, and you have been asking, in silence, for an answer that has finally arrived. What I have for you on this day is the key to what has been blocked, the revelation of why certain doors closed on you, and the promise that what you have been waiting for so long, what seemed to have died, is about to draw new breath right before your eyes. Pay very close attention, for I am not speaking to the crowd. I am speaking directly to you, to your story, and to the wounds you keep locked away. You have been noticing the signs, haven't you? That tiredness that no rest can wash away, an exhaustion that seems to come from the soul, as if you have been carrying the world on your back for years. You wake up without explanation at specific hours, your heart racing, feeling like someone is calling out to you, but when you look around, everything is silent. You have the constant feeling that no matter how hard you try, no matter how much you strive to be a better person, someone who helps, someone who understands, the world seems not to see your worth. It is as if you are screaming in an empty room and no one answers. The conversations around you feel more and more shallow. The plans you make seem to stall, and the feeling of invisibility is what hurts the most. I see it. I see that you have felt invisible, even to those you love the most. This is the number of confirmation, the mark that your frequency has been tuned to receive what comes next. Your fingers typing, this is your spirit saying yes to the change that has already begun in the unseen. Type 777 and come back here to me. I know you have been repeating an exhausting pattern, my dear one. You spend entire days trying to please, trying to be the pillar that... Attention!
Do you feel like you're carrying an invisible weight? Your mind tired, your heart tight, anxious about tomorrow? That anguish, that fear of the future, the isolation. It seems like you're alone in this struggle, without hope. But deep down, you long for peace, for a new way of living, lighter and with unshakable faith. That's why I present The Path to Inner Peace, your daily guide to finding calm, faith, and courage. It's a 30-day journey, a daily devotional for a lighter, more confident, and purposeful life. And this transformation is already a reality for hundreds, as you see. Your story begins now. Secure your access now. Click the first pinned link in the comments.
It holds up the house, the shoulder that supports the pain of others, even while you are broken inside. You put yourself last on your own list of priorities, hoping that if you do everything right, if you are irreproachable, someone will finally look at you and recognize your value. But it turns out you have been trying to light lamps on paths where there is no receptivity, and you have been trying to harvest fruit from soil that was not prepared for what you carry. You have been seeking attention from those who have no eyes to see your essence. This repetition of effort without harvest is not a lack of faith. It is not a lack of worthiness. It is merely a misalignment of direction. You are trying to force a door that should have already been left behind, while something much greater is being prepared in a place you have not yet dared to look. Are you still with me? Do not leave now. For true transformation begins exactly when you stop fighting the current and accept that you no longer have to carry this burden alone. Stop now. Do not keep scrolling, for this is not common content you stumble upon by chance among so many distractions. There is a specific reason this sound finds your ears at this exact moment, and ignoring it would be like closing the door on someone who brought a key you have been waiting your whole life to find. Something inside you, a part of you that is tired of fighting, recognizes that what you are about to hear here is not human advice, but guidance that comes from a place where time does not count hours, but purposes. There is an urgency in the air, a need for you to understand that what you have been feeling is not the end, but the beginning of a crossing that will require a clarity from you that has been denied until now. You have been feeling like an ember hidden under heavy ashes. You know that flame, the one that does not shine brightly to the eyes of passers-by, but still pulses deep down, stubborn, burning slowly, waiting for the first gust of wind to become a blaze. You have lived months, maybe years, being covered by layers of disillusionment, of words left unsaid, of promises that were broken, and of a tiredness that seems to live in your bones. Life has thrown ashes over your light, the disappointments, the betrayals from those you trusted, the loneliness accompanied by people who do not understand you. You look inside and sometimes can barely see the heat that still exists because the surface feels cold, feels dead. But I am here to tell you that this ember has not died. It is your testament of survival, and it is ready to set a new path on fire. But first, you need to acknowledge that it is there, waiting to be breathed upon. If this metaphor of the ember surviving under the ashes deeply touched your chest and made you remember who you truly are, type the phrase, "I see it." Writing these words is sealing your recognition that, although the world has tried to extinguish you, your light is still real. Type "I see it" and come back here to me. I know exactly the weight you carry, my dear one. I know the nights when you lay your head on the pillow, and the silence screams, making you wonder if all this effort to be everyone's support, to be the safe harbor for a family or friends who do not always give back, is really worth it. You are the one who smiles, so no one notices your heart is in pieces. You are the one who swallows the tears, who holds up the despair of others, while your own world seems to be hanging by a thread. You have looked in the mirror and felt that the person standing there is not the same one who started this journey, because life has been too demanding and the lack of emotional return has left you exhausted, almost breathless. You have said to yourself deep inside that maybe you were not born for joy, that your destiny is only to carry burdens. But listen closely. This tiredness is not a sign of defeat. It is the sign that you have given everything you could. And now heaven decides that it is your turn to be carried. You no longer have to pretend to be strong. You are here to be seen, not just for what you do for others, but for who you are when no one is watching. But pay attention, because there is a contrary energy, something that has been trying to steal your rest and prevent this turn from happening. There are forces, there are eyes, there are situations that try to strike you precisely at the moment you are about to bloom. They want you to feel small, to doubt your worth and your protection. However, if you feel that despite everything, something tried to bring you down and did not succeed, if you know there is an invisible protection guarding your life, declare this now as an absolute truth. Make it a decree, a barrier you raise against everything that wants to stop you. Type, "and come back here to me." Now I want to do something that no one has done for you in a long time. I want to call you by your name, but since I am only the voice that reaches you, I need you to authorize it. Do not do this like filling out a form. Do it as a spiritual act of surrender. By typing your name, you are placing it before heaven, letting your identity be recognized not by your failures or by what others think of you, but by who you are in your essence. Let your name appear here, engraved on the screen, as if it were a call being answered. Write your name and come back here to me. Do not keep scrolling, for this is not an ordinary moment and you know it. You did not arrive here by coincidence, and if you feel a tightness in your chest, a shiver or a restlessness you cannot explain, it is because there is a very clear reason for this conversation to be happening at this instant. There is something you need to understand before this cycle closes, an invisible urgency that calls for your attention. because the time for waiting is over. I am here to tell you that what you have been carrying in silence, all the nights your mind does not rest, and every tear you shed when no one was looking, all of it has been seen. You are no longer alone, and the promise we bring today is that what was blocked is finally beginning to move. You have been feeling signs that keep repeating themselves. Maybe it is that waking up at the same moment in the early morning, or the feeling that even in the middle of a crowd, you are the most invisible person there. Maybe you have noticed that conversations that once made sense now feel empty, as if you are on a step that others have not yet reached. This tiredness that does not go away, this exhaustion that even the longest rest cannot cure, is not a lack of faith or a weakness of your spirit. It is, in truth, the sign that you are being prepared for something much greater. This is the number of confirmation. I know you have been trying to fix things your own way, pulling on ropes that are no longer attached to anything. You strive, you give your all to please those who do not even notice your presence, and it drains you. There is a metaphor I want you to hold on to. You are like an ember that has been covered by the ashes of past disappointments. On the outside, it may seem like the fire has gone out, that the brightness has disappeared. But if you blow on those ashes now, the heat is still there, waiting for the right moment to set everything ablaze again. Your essence has not been lost. It has only been protected by time. If this image fit into a place in your chest that you did not even know how to explain, type the phrase, "I see it." Writing these words seals within you what has just been touched. You have spent too much time being the pillar for everyone around you, holding up the pains of friends, of family, of people who did not always give back what you gave. You wonder if you were born only to carry the burdens of others, if your destiny is to be forgotten while life happens for everyone else. I tell you now, what you have gone through was not in vain. Every blow you received, every door that closed, served to mold the resilient person you are at this moment. But the protection that surrounds you does not let evil prevail. If you feel that, despite all the attacks, something tried to bring you down and did not succeed, if you know there is an invisible barrier guarding your life, declare this as truth. Make it a decree of miracle. Type and come back here to me. Now I want to call you by your name, but since I am only the voice that reaches you, I need you to authorize it. Do not do this like filling out a form. Do it as a spiritual act of surrender. Let your name appear here, engraved, like a call being answered. As you do this, someone has just come to your mind. Maybe it is a familiar face, someone you see struggling every day, a person who walks in silence, carrying a weight that no one around them can see, someone who has been trying to keep their head up even when the world seems to be falling apart. Do not ignore this image. This person came to your mind now for a reason. Send this message to them, not as advice but as a gift, as a sign that they too have not been forgotten. If you feel that everything we have talked about here is the truth you needed to hear, you do not need difficult words. Use your like as an amen without words, a silent agreement that what was said has found its rightful place. And to finalize this moment, do not fear what is coming, because what is coming is the confirmation of who you truly are. Take a deep breath one more time and type, with the certainty of one who knows their own worth. I am the chosen one. It is not a wish. It is the seal of your experience. You are covered, you are guarded, you are being guided, you are being called to a new time, to a clarity that no one can take from you. Right now, all over the world, other people are receiving this same recognition, and you are part of this current that does not announce itself, but that transforms the invisible into reality. Do not keep scrolling, because what I am about to tell you is not a coincidence. It is an intersection point between your spirit and the voice you have been waiting a long time to hear. There is a clear reason you stopped here at this exact moment, and it is not an accident of fate. There is something you need to understand before this instant passes, something that has already begun to move in the unseen and will change the way you see your own journey. This is not a common video, it is a direct message. The contract is simple. If you give me your attention, I will reveal why the signs have been multiplying in your life, what has been preventing the door you keep knocking on from opening, and what the true reason is for you feeling so alone, even when surrounded by so many people. You feel a tiredness that sleep does not resolve, don't you? As if your body is heavy, but your mind keeps running in circles through the early morning hours. You have been noticing patterns that repeat, a sense of déjà vu in situations that should be new, and a restlessness that makes you stare into nothing and ask, in silence, if it will all be worth it. These are not signs of weakness. They are signs of awakening. Your spirit is trying to tune into a frequency that the noise of the world tried to drown out. It is the number of confirmation. You have spent a long time trying to please those who do not pay attention to you, trying to prove your worth to those who have already decided they do not want to see your light. It is like trying to sustain a building on quicksand. You pull the rope, wait for a sign of return, but the other side is empty. There is no judgment here, only the recognition of a pattern that drains you. You carry an old wound, a voice that was once told to be quiet, and since then you have lived like an ember hidden under thick, heavy ashes. You think the flame has gone out, but it is only waiting for the moment when the wind of purpose blows again. The ember still burns, hot and alive, protected under the layer of disillusionment you have accumulated. If this image of the hidden ember touched a place you cannot even explain, type the phrase, "I see it." I know you have become the mainstay for everyone around you. You are the one who listens, who solves, who endures. But when you need help, silence is the only answer you find. You have felt invisible in your own home or in the midst of friends who barely notice that your smile does not reach your eyes. You have been asking yourself, how much longer can I hold on? This exhaustion you feel is not the end. It is the limit of your old endurance being tested so that something new can emerge. There is a protection surrounding you, something that prevented you from crumbling in the moments when despair knocked at your door. It is not an empty phrase. It is a decree from one who knows they have been guarded by a greater hand. Type and come back here to me. You are stronger than the pain they gave you, and much greater than the shadows that tried to convince you that you were only a survivor. The time for merely surviving is over. The time to bloom into who you are has begun now. And now that you understand you are not alone, it is time to present yourself. I want to call you by your name, but you need to place yourself before heaven. Not like someone signing up for something, but as someone positioning themselves to be seen and recognized for who they are. Do not keep scrolling, for this is not an accident of fate, but a destined meeting you have tried to avoid for a long time. There is a reason you are hearing this at this exact moment, something you need to understand before the cycle closes. You have been feeling signs, haven't you? That sudden waking in the early morning, the tight chest with no apparent reason, the feeling that although you are surrounded by so many people, no one truly sees what you carry inside. I'm here to tell you that these signs are warnings of a presence trying to get closer, but your haste and the weight of your worries have been drowning it out. There is a promise kept for you, something that is blocked by this energy of exhaustion you insist on feeding. It is the number of spiritual confirmation. You have been walking in circles, trying to prove your worth to those who were never willing to see your light. You pull a rope that is no longer attached to anything, mistaking extreme tiredness for honorable dedication, when in truth it is only a way of hiding from yourself. There is an image that represents your current state, a flame that seems extinguished under a thick layer of ashes, but that, deep down, continues to pulse with a heat you yourself try to smother, afraid that if you shine, you will be demanded of more than you can give. If this image of the hidden ember fit into a place you cannot even explain, type the phrase, "I see it." Type and come back here to me. Write your first name in the comments. As you process this truth, look beyond your own mirror. There is someone coming to your mind now, someone whose face appeared without you calling them. It might be that person who always tries too hard, who carries a heavy silence, and who, like you, seems to always be one step behind a happiness that never comes. That person needs what you received today. Do not keep for yourself the key that opened your own door. Send this message as one who hands a lantern in the darkness to the one walking beside you on the same journey of invisibility. And if something here confirmed what your spirit was already whispering, allow your gesture to be your amen without words. Let this silent movement be the final agreement between you and what was revealed. We are not talking about metrics, but about recognition. Take a deep breath one more time and type, slowly, the words, "I am the chosen one." Not as a wish, but as a final confirmation. It is you, finally, recognizing what you have always been and what has always been waiting for you. You are covered, you are guarded, you are being guided. Right now, all over the world, other souls like yours are being touched by this same truth, forming an invisible current that nothing can break. You are no longer alone. And now, my child, my dear one, notice how the air around you seems to have changed in weight, as if the pressure that kept you from breathing fully has dissipated. Do not doubt the sensitivity that brought you to this point. For what you feel is not tiredness. It is the awakening of a consciousness that finally recognizes its true worth before eternity. This crossing you have been making, solitary and silent, is reaching its final milestone, where old pains transform into wisdom and the blocks that seemed insurmountable dissolve before your new posture. You are being prepared to occupy a place that has always been yours, but that the rush and noise of the world tried to convince you to forget. What is happening now is real. It is tangible, and above all, it is the fulfillment of a promise that has rested in your spirit since you were born. There is no more room for hesitation, for your path has been opened, and the lights that once shone from afar now illuminate each of your next steps. Welcome this moment of peace as the definitive evidence that the heavens have answered your cry, not with empty promises, but with the constant presence of the one who never abandoned you on the nights you cried when no one could see. You are covered by the protection that spans the ages. You are guarded in the palm of the hand that holds the stars and the hearts. You are being guided by the greater purpose that now, finally, aligns perfectly with your will. Right now, all over the world, thousands of souls who also carried the weight of silence are awakening on this same frequency, uniting in an invisible brotherhood that needs no temples made of stone to be sacred, for it lives inside each one of you. You no longer walk towards the unknown. You walk back to your spiritual home. It is sealed. Attention!
Do you feel like you're carrying an invisible weight? Your mind tired, your heart tight, anxious about tomorrow? That anguish, that fear of the future, the isolation. It seems like you're alone in this struggle, without hope. But deep down, you long for peace, for a new way of living, lighter and with unshakable faith. That's why I present The Path to Inner Peace, your daily guide to finding calm, faith, and courage. It's a 30-day journey, a daily devotional for a lighter, more confident, and purposeful life. And this transformation is already a reality for hundreds, as you see. Your story begins now. Secure your access now. Click the first pinned link in the comments.